Well, hello you superstars, and welcome to the AXR GTWEC Season 2, Round 8, Race 1. They are just going out to qualify now at Brazil for this last final round of the GTWEC Season 2 Championship, and what a blinder it has been. And it's all coming to a head. That's what she said. So, I've got to find everything. It was a friend's birthday, so I've been out all afternoon. I'm not drunk, I didn't drink. But, yeah, I don't know where I am. Everything's been a massive rush. So, frequency. The Flying Finn is driving for Stusilla Racing, and I believe they're at the top of the championship still, even though they missed a round. So Stusilla Racing, 256 points. They're ahead of Clockwork, and these not Apex. We're looking for a Beamer. It's usually Noir and Terrace. There we go. Clockwork, Apex are 232 points. So I think there's still a chance, very slim chance, of taking this championship for the Clockwork team. Then in third in the championship, we have the Clockwork Vertex team on 209 points. Then we have AXR on 203 points, which I believe is Fred Dude representing at the moment. Then we have Scuderia Chiara on 187 points. And that would be Nano Maranello. Ooh, a special livery here, is it? Is Nano Maranello? No, Nano Maranello might not be. Hang on. We're going to say that is. Then Garage 96 are on 141 points. And that's Floris. They're in the Audi. Then we've got Speedblots Motorsports on 98 points. They haven't been for a couple of rounds now. AequepaX Racing are on 89.5 points, and that'll be Splash in the Aston Martin. And then we have Full Throttle Racing on 67 points because they swapped cars. So not bad really, and they're represented by, I'm going to say, Evil Dragon. Also in the Audi. Then we have the Humble Guys Racing Team Finland. Jay is there. He's just ahead in the Dodge Viper. They swapped cars as well. And Chiara Corsa are on 45.5 points. I'm not sure they're actually here. So qualifying is underway, and we are all deep in this. Ethan's in the chat saying bonjour. Watching from France. Have a good race, everyone. Ooh, la-di-da. So we've got Floris in the Audi for Team and Garage 96. Fastest so far around the South American track Interlagos. Very fast Dutch driver out there. Fred Dude, second fastest so far in the AXR. Genesis X. Frequency third fastest for Stusilla Racing in the McLaren. Ooh, a little lag through that corner, wasn't there? And Nano Maranello, I think, is racing for Scuderia Chiara. They changed the colours. And they've gone, they're fourth fastest so far in the Corvette. Tim Law is in the Corvette also for Clockwork Vertex. And he's chasing a time now. Shall we stick with him, see if there's something here? We might even continue on to the next lap. Oh yes, he's just grabbed himself fourth place from the other Corvette. Fred and Frequency have gone in to change those tyres up a little bit. And we'll keep an eye on Tim Law as Floris goes faster again and pushes that pole position further out. But I mean, we're watching Tim Law, who's gone fifth now because Splash, I believe, has gone up ahead of him in the Aston Martin. And but look at that, it's 8/10 all the way down to fifth. It's just about a second in the top six being covered by So Tim Law then we're watching as he comes around in the Corvette. A few of his fellow racers have gone in to get tyres early doors. And I haven't seen a sector time yet. I've missed every single sector time, so I have no idea if he's on one or if it's not great. It's a bit bouncy. The Americans must be under attack. Their internet is spiking. So Tim Law then brings it up the hill. I managed not to see a single sector time in that lap, and I thought I watched the whole thing. So I don't know what I'm looking at. And here we go then. Tim Law racing towards the line. Is it? It's not going to be any faster anyway. Oh, it's close though. 800ths of a second. So let's have a look up and down this grid. We've had a look, haven't we? So Flores is the fastest man. He's gone in to get some new tyres. Fred Dude's on an outlap. Noir and Terrace has just popped it up into third spot for Clockwork Motorsport. AequepaX. And there's having a bit of racing with Stusilla Racing? Possibly. Yeah, no. It's nowhere near him. That must be full throttle racing. So Frequency is fourth fastest with Splash coming in, just going out with new rubber. Tim Law continuing on with what he's got. Are we near a sector? I'm not playing that game again. Nano Marinello has got some fresh rubber on as we hit the 7-minute mark of, I think it's like 12 or 13 minutes, maybe 15-minute qualifying here. So Nano Marinello getting some fresh rubber, preparing for another run. Jay is 8th. It's on the set of racing softs. Looks, oh, he's on an outlap. And Evil Dragon's picked himself up a humongous penalty there in qualifying. He's donning Sir Senna's helmet. Or is he? Yes. For Brazil. Especially for Brazil, I take it. And Evil Dragon then. Trying to get that Audi to behave. Slings it around. He's lost 2 seconds on this lap. It's going to affect his next lap as well, because he's not going to be up to top speed as he goes over the line. He may as well bring it in the pits, which it looks like that is what his plan is. And yeah, so Evil Dragon brings that bad boy in to get some new rubber on it. Right then, let's sit on board with Flores for this next lap. He's just finishing his out lap. He's got absolutely brand spanking new treads on his threads. Let us see what Flores can produce. So heading up the start straight, 150 miles an hour, going up to about 160, braking rather late for me, but they are the Group 3 cars. He swings it in with that just extra down change, gets across the next apex. Beautiful stuff there from Flores in his Audi. Going very lovely over the curves, down the straight, hammer and tong all the way. Lead foot, braking there way past the 100-metre marker board. The man is brave, he gets it through, threads it through the eye of a needle over that apex there. Now we're making our way up the hill. Tricky corner coming up, it's hard to judge what speed to go in. It's just a little lift, knocked down with the shift. Just nursing her around in third gear. Now we're into the hairpin, second gear. First gear to the apex, swinging it back to the left, second gear. Then they just roll, getting on that accelerator as early as he dare, gets over the curve. Now we're heading up to a next hairpin, down to first gear again, to the right. Now we're dropping down the hill to the left. It's a fast corner, but it can't be going too fast or you'll end up way over the other side of that green patch. He does a beautiful job. When to brake for this final corner, it's uphill. It takes some of the speed away for you. Oh, he's had a tail. The tail wanted to step out there on Flores, and he's had to abort that lap. Flores still pole though. Fred Dude in second, fastest 2.2 seconds behind, well, virtually 0.3, let's round it up. So Fred Dude 0.3 behind the pole sitter. Noir Antares is only 7 thousandths of a second behind Fred Dude. Just under 3/10 of a second behind pole. Frequency's gone in to get some fuel, and he is only 4.5 tenths behind pole. Anyone can get pole here. We're at 10 minutes, so we've still got a good 5 minutes left of quali before, I believe this is a 4-hour race, so I believe it's 2 stints of 2 hours tonight. You've got me for 2 hours. Splash then, 5th fastest in the Aston Martin. He finds traffic. He's found himself a little traffic there with Tim Law. 6th fastest, still within a second of pole. 7th, just over a second off of pole, Nano Maranello. And he is going to try and get further up the grid for Scuderia Chiora. I want to say Nano Maranello to Rock Me Amadeus tune, like Rock Me Amadeus, but Rock Me Amadeus, Nano Maranello, Nano Maranello, Nano Maranello, Nano Maranello, Maranello, Nano Maranello. I'll get there. I'll get it to work. So Nano Maranello coming over towards the line, and now, and he has gone faster, but not moved up the order. How frustrating for him, but he's a 10th behind the other Corvette. It's the battle of the Corvettes in 6th and 7th on the grid. The Dodge is in 8th place. He's going faster, a 10th faster. He needs to find 3/10 though if he wants to jump the Corvettes. And he has Fred Dude right up in his Tucus. And so Evil Dragon, what's that? On board. Takes it through the hairpins, precise as he can be. The Dodge Viper wanting to step away at any point. Yes, very delicate with that accelerator into the brakes, pointing that long nose into the apex, trying to get on that accelerator, and I think them wheels are spinning up more than they actually touch the tarmac. He's up, but not enough. Not enough. And there's one more lap after this, I'd say. Well, maybe 2. He might squeeze a second lap out, but I don't know. It'll be tight. If he makes a mistake, he's buggered. So J-Man coming up along the grid now. 8th place in the Dodge. He's got faster, but he hasn't moved anywhere. Fred Dude's come in for a tyre change for preparing himself for that one final run. Nano Maranello has gone faster again, it seems, but still behind the other Corvette of Tim Law, who's also going faster, and he's chasing the Aston Martin of Splash for the AXR team. Flores at the moment off the track, but it does not matter. No one can get close. Fred Dude is going to go for it on a fresh set of rubber, but he's got to get a shifty on. I don't know if he'll get to the line in time. We'll see. We'll see. He's got 1 minute and 20 seconds to get around, and it's going to be tight for Fred Dude to get that final run. He doesn't want to kill his tyres, just getting to the line. Noir Antares. Let's have a look. How close to a sector is he at? We're only a couple of corners away. He's 3/10 off of pole, 7 thousandths of a second off of Fred Dude. So the running order so far is Flores, Fred Dude, Noir Antares, Frequency, Splash, Tim Law, Nano Maranello, J-Man, and Evil Dragon. We're watching Noir Antares coming up the hill and heading towards the line. 30 seconds. Splash goes faster, doesn't move though. Noir Antares doesn't go faster. It's all down to this lap for him. Flores then coming up towards the line, ready to make his last run. We've seen him off the road in this lap. He's not going to get any faster this time around. Fred Dude's on his out lap. He's trying to get to the line before the timing runs out. 10 seconds. And what do you know? Son of a gun. He's gone and done it, hasn't he? Has he? Yes. So Fred Dude gets another lap in. These guys are just coming up now. Where are they? No, it's this dude who's going to be finishing first of everyone. Tim Law, 0.03 of a second off of the Aston Martin of the AXR Splash, and he is pushing with all he can to try and get that 5th place. Oh, but the Corvette is looking wild around Interlagos. It doesn't want to settle, and he's a 10th down. It's not going to happen for him, I would guess. In this one, it looks like 6th is the best he's going to get, and he's got to hope that Nano Marinello or Jay or Evil Dragon don't go any faster. So here we go, Tim Law coming up to finish his qualifying session with a 6th place. Now we've got to find the next arrow. Oh my God, they're flying around really quick. Hang on. Here we go. Jay gonna be the next man across the line. And that looks like the BMW of Noir and Terrace. He didn't go any faster. I think Splash has just crossed the line. He hasn't gone any faster. They're all coming thick and fast. My dearie God, Frequency comes across the line. He doesn't go any faster. That's Evil Dragon in 9th. Oh, you bugger. Oh, I don't know. That was Floris. He didn't go any faster. And Fred Dude didn't go any faster. So I'll show you the grid. It was a bit of a mess at the end. I should have had a better awareness of whom was where. So Floris gets pole position for Garage 696, Garage 96, sorry. Fred Dude, 2nd on the grid in the Genesis X4 AXR. Noir and Terrace chasing Stasilla, who are just behind him in 4th. 5th for AXR. Tim Law in the Clockwork, and Nano Marinello in the Scuderia Chiara, and Jay is in the Viper in 8th. Why are they not moving? We had 9 people. Why? Oh, you're first next, sorry. And there's Evil Dragon in the Audi. Right, back to the action. It hasn't happened yet. It's all right. Phew. Oh, my word. Big stretch. I think we're going to crack open a cool beverage. I've got a hot beverage, but the cool beverage first, just to wet the whistle before the racing starts. Lovely. So yeah, long season. Well, not a long season. 8 rounds of this endurance championship, and we've seen some tough battling throughout the season. So well done, congratulations to everyone who took part, and an amazing job done by the admins of the AXR group. Well done. And here we go then into race 1 final, the first 2 hours of the next 4 hours. Why? Get rid of him. And we're waiting now. Oh God, someone's getting lapped already. It's got a false start. That has got to be one of the worst, hasn't it? There you go. Worst views ever from a grid. And it's off then here. Nano Marinello and the Gen X of... Hey, Nano Marinello shouldn't have been on pole. Did he do something? Something's gone wrong. Noir and Terrace is up there. Is it an exit? Will they get told to exit and restart there? Because something went wrong with that grid. Well, Floris is in the front now. Noir and Terrace is 2nd ahead of Fred Dude. That could be correct, actually. Tim Law 4th. He's jumped up. Frequency's dropping behind radically. He's down to 6th now in the McLaren. He's getting swallowed by the crowds. And Jay there on his inside. The Dodge Viper up and into 5th. Evil Dragon's had a great start in the Audi up to 7th. Nano Marinello has had an absolute tragedy in 8th spot, and Splash also with a second penalty, 1 second penalty. Awful stuff for not Noir. Who was it again? Splash. Sorry. So Floris then, he wants to assert his dominance in this race. He's donning a set of racing medium tyres for the race. Noir's gone soft. Fred Dude's gone soft. Tim Law, he's got a big soft one on. J Man has got softs on. Frequency has gone medium. Nano Maranello is soft. Splash is already up and past someone, but he's got a second penalty to pay as he comes up the hill, and Evil Dragon will swoop underneath him and take that position back. And Evil Dragon also with softs on. So tough job for Floris out there, keeping the BMW behind whilst on a set of soft tyres. I mean medium tyres, sorry. Floris is on the mediums. Fred Dude dropping down into 7th place. Oh my gosh, what has happened? So there's Fred Dude. Boom. See if this still works. So where are we? He's in 3rd at the moment. Oh, and the J-Man up his inside. I think J-Man, he seemed like he was a good distance up there. I didn't see how late that was. We didn't see the very beginning of it. But Fred didn't seem to be aware that or expected the J-Man to be in that slot as he turned in. And it cost him a lot. What's gone off? Come on. Don't be broken. So Floris still leads. Noir and Terrace in 2nd. Jay is 3rd. Tim Law is in 4th. Frequency 5th. Nano Maranello now up into 6th. Fred Dude slipping down into 7th with that contact with the Finnish driver. Evil Dragon in 8th place, still ahead of Splash. And oh my lord, I don't know what happened there. Evil Dragon just sort of came to a total standstill. Shall we do it? Why not? Let's go replay crazy here. Is it just a massive lag? Miles away anyway, we're not going to see anything. There we go. Oh yeah, I think he got caught up with the Gen X and whatever's in front of the Gen X, and he's lost that position to Splash again. Floris then leads 4 tenths ahead of the BMW. That Audi just wants to throw it off the track, and Floris doing all within his skills to try and keep it in between the two white lines as they come around. And Noir and Terrace is really giving some crazy jip to Floris right now. Evil Dragon not happy with the lag. Tim Law is 3rd, and he's just going to lose the place to the Dodge Viper. The Dodge Viper coming alive in this race. Unbelievable stuff. And it's got some war wounds to show as well. Tim Law in 4th, then just slipping down. Frequency is 5th with Fred Dude now up into 6th. Nano Maranello down in 7th. Splash is up to 8th ahead of Evil Dragon, who he's just got too much lag. He's not impressed with the lagginess of what is happening here. I don't know how his internet's done. Wi-Fi can do that. I'm not on Wi-Fi, I'm hardwired, baby. Hardwired. I've learnt my lessons. So Floris, he might be on a PS4, who knows. Floris and Noir still at it, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful, man. Floris is pinging around in here as he goes through the corners. My word. Fix the game. Fix the game. Come on. So Noir's heavy onto those brakes, then onto the apex, into the what, 3rd corner we're going to call that one. As he chases down the Audi, they've pulled out a nice 2.5 second lead on the rest of the pack. I think the pack's all bunched up, and it's just these two out in a race on their own. Floris on those medium tyres, remember, just managing to stay ahead of the soft tyred stricken BMW. Then we've got Jay, the J-Man. He's living large. He's leaving Lika Lomoka or whatever the song is ahead of Tim Law. Viva la Loco. Pull me in and out. Living la vida loca. Living la vida loca. So that's what Jay is doing. Tim Law in 4th with Fred Dude in 5th, slowly making his way through. Frequency in that McLaren must be feeling like he's getting mugged off in every straight, and it's like the DRS is against him, but we don't use DRS, it's just he's being hampered. by the McLaren engine, and that's Nano Maranello looking like he wants that Frequency's position as well. Frequency though late on the brakes around the outside. Can he get it to stick? No, he cannot. And then the Chevy is through, and it looks like Splash is going to be next on the list already. Oh, poor Frequency. It looks like he's going to have to do something clever in this race if he wants good points. And Noir Antares trying to chase down those points, whilst the Stacilla Racing Crew's car is not getting the business done. Splash any minute now, looking ready to pounce on the McLaren that, let's say, looks rather weak down the straights. And there we go, just that short straight between the corners, and Splash manages to whip it through. Whips his hair back and forth. He whips his hair back and forth. Now, Frequency is on the medium tyres, let's not forget. He could be doing a lot of car management out there. Splash wanting to get on with it. So Flores still has the BMW looming large in his mirrors, and Noir having a look at a bit of fresh air on the outside of Flores. And Flores, he's not coming into the pits, is he? He's on medium, I was going to say, he's on medium tyres. Why would he come into the pits? So we're looking back at the BMW. Flores going to the inside to cover off that big gap that Noir could slip his Beamer into. And Flores very much having to play a defensive game at the moment, being not so much on the grippier tyres. Noir Antares seems to at least getting a toe. Slowly pulling him into the braking zone. Here we go. And, Noir looking intently at the back of this Audi as he wants to find a way through. As we head up the hill towards the hairpins. Is this the Beamers? Oh, Noir's gone very wide. He's gone, not very Noir. Flores went wide there. Flores went wide. And Noir just slipped that one right in there. He was waiting for his moment to pounce, and it was barely anything, but it's changed the lead order. And here we see in a replay now of Flores bringing it up the hill, and it was under braking there. He went wide, and look, just no, it was nothing. He went wide to take the corner, but Noir just slipped into the gap and said, thank you very much, sir. That was much appreciated. And now Noir scoring maximo points. Fred Dude's got the fastest laps so far. Where is he? In 5th place. And Frequency, the championship leader, is down in 8th. Let's hope he's got enough points to cover his nut. Flores then drops down into 2nd. He was on the medium tyres. It was a gallant effort over the last sort of 8 minutes to try and keep the BMW behind. Jay is the head of the train here. He's the Dodge, then it's a Corvette, then we've got the Gen X. Gen X has got a bit of damage around the back there, as Nano Maranello giving him a little love pump in the back end. Who knows? I don't know which way he goes. So J-Man in the Dodge Viper, doing all he can to keep Tim Law behind. Tim Law all up and in his business right now. And Tim Law, he has to be very careful, because he's got the big bad wolf looming in the background there. The Gen X, which has also got Nano Maranello looming. And behind Nano Maranello, we've got Splash. So very tight in this field. 10 minutes of this. I'm pretty sure it's a 2-hour race. Let me check that detail for you. I've been advertising it as a 2-hour race, so I'm assuming it's a 2-hour race. I'll go all the way to the top to find out all the information. Yeah, 4 hours into Lagos. He's put the writing, whoever it is, he's put the writing on top of the picture. It's white writing with white clouds and stuff, so it's difficult to read sometimes. But yes, 4-hour drive race round here, so we've still got a long ways to go. Tim Law chasing down J-Man. Look at that, already 11 minutes and the fuel is at half. The tyres are shot. We're going to have a lot of pit stops. Going to have a lot of pit stops. And Noir already pulling out a second on Floris. Fuel is pretty much the same, but Floris's tyres are in a lot better condition than the BMW. J-Man, he's getting halfway through his tyres. He's got half a tank of fuel. And Tim Law looking better on his tyres, a little bit better on fuel as well. Fred Dude is... Oh, that damage will be from the beginning of the race. Yes, of course, it doesn't fix itself. So Fred Dude having to drive with damage. But for the Gen X, those tyres are looking pretty good, because usually it's the Gen X that uses its tyres first. Nano Maranello, similar to the Gen X, he's really heavy on the right-hand side of his car there. And fuel around about half a tank. So we've got some ways to go yet. Probably, I'd say, looking somewhere between 25-30 minutes for the first set of pit stops. Frequency in 8. He's gone a 31.8 last time around. He's chasing Splash, who's done a 31.1 at his fastest. He's done a 32.2 then, and frequency does a 31.7. So frequency starting to raise the pace now, hoping those people's tyres around him. And it looks to me either Evil Dragon's just made a pit stop for a set of medium tyres, or he's really looking after his tyres extremely well. Noir's nearly 2-second lead now on Floris, and Jay is in trouble. The Corvette is starting to wind in the pressure, and Jay has got to have nerves of steel as he goes up against Tim Law. Tim Law trying to go around the outside in the Corvette. Jay protecting. Defense in the Dodge Viper right now, but the Dodge Viper's grip is slowly eking away as Tim Law drives that Corvette home. And Fred Dude getting a great view, as does Maranello and Splash, catching up on the back end of these fun times. Starts on board with Splash. Ooh, a little wiggle there from Nano Maranello. Fred having a look, but they don't seem... Oh, and it looks like Nano Maranello's the man who's going to make the move here. Sorry. And Nano Maranello then up the inside of Fred Dude, but Nano Maranello, his tyres are not looking great, especially that front right. His days are numbered with those tyres, I'd say. Fred Dude's tyres are a bit better, but he's carrying damage. Splash is getting on the scene. Tim Law still hasn't done anything about the J-Man, and the J-Man keeping it tight in third place in the Dodge Viper. Lovely stuff here. You wouldn't have thought the Dodge suit this track so much with so many tight corners, but at the moment the understeery boat is doing a great job of it. Oof. But the Corvette is getting rather impatient behind. He wants to get through, and there's going to be shenanigans ahead with these two drivers. Frustration will take place, because I think Tim Law probably is faster, and his tyres are in such a better condition than than the J-Man. But Tim Law, he might be able to just sit behind him, do a bit of fuel save, look after his tyres, but he is losing distance on Noirs, who's now 1.7 seconds ahead of second place. And Floris is nearly 5.5 seconds ahead of the J-Man. Is he bringing that into the pits? He is, you know. Whoa, is he going to make it in the pits? It looked like he was sliding all over the place. So an early stop from the Corvette and the Dodge Viper. They did use those tyres, didn't they? So Noir and Terrace, he's getting through that front right. Floris's tyres are looking absolutely happy rubber. Tim Law, he's in a better position than Noir, I would say, but not as good as Floris's. Fuel is same for everyone. Tim Law's got a bit more fuel than the guys ahead of him. Splash, he's doing a beautiful job, but frequency now is starting to come alive, and look, he's barely used those tyres. Fred Dude in 6th, still carrying that damage, still with his Fred tyre woes. The J-Man coming out of the pits in 7th. It does look like it. No one's going to take him. And Nano Marinello are right behind him. Nano Marinello. There's something there. I can feel it. Evil Dragon in 9th spot. Not happy with the lag. So Noir's then leads by 1.6 seconds. Flores pinning him down, not letting him get any further away as Noir's tyres go away. He's in the 31s. And he might be trying to look after those bad boys. He's gone into the pits and Flores stays out on those medium tyres. Flores in the Audi. He can do that all over again, you know. He's only halfway through his tyres. He can go to the 30-minute mark possibly. That's got to be the sweet spot. And Frequency as well. We saw him earlier managing his car very well indeed. And he's gone through, it looks to me, like the McLaren and the Audi are trying to cut out a pit stop this evening and gain a lot more track time than these guys that have all come into the pits. Jay and Nano Marinello pitted the lap before. Can they gain places? Can they gain places? This is the big question. They were behind Noir and they were behind Tim Law. Noir and Tim Law look like they're coming down the pit lane, and that is Noir back on track in 3rd place. Tim Law just about to exit the pit lane. Jay and Nano very close. Nano wants to get a move done on Jay down the straights. Their tyres bedded in, and the other guys, Tim Law and Noir, take a lap or so for them to warm them tyres up and get up to racing pace. And Nano Marinello knows that. He wants past. He wants to get by the Dodge Viper. He can see the other Corvette, and he's done it. He's done it up the inside. Why did I go to the wrong view, don't I? Oh, no, he's not done it. They're side by side. And now he's got to wiggle on, and that gives the Dodge Viper the opportunity to take the racing line and stay in 5th place. Tim Law, he's got to get out of the Dodgers' way, to tell you the truth. Noir and Terrace, 8 seconds ahead of Tim Law. Flores then leads. And like I said, tyres looking good. I reckon he's going to try and stay out there. Try and push it to 30 minutes. We saw everyone else is pitting between 15 to 20 minutes. That's a lot of pit stops. Jay and Nano pitted before, splash out behind those guys, 3 seconds. Can he make that up? Fred Dude had the biggest loss there, but he had to fix his car, remember. So Fred Dude fixing his car, and now he can go out there and do. And Evil Dragon's picked up a bit of damage there in his Audi. Flores leads 10 seconds. Frequency 16 seconds ahead of Noir, 8 seconds ahead of Tim Law. The closest battle really is Nano Marinello and J-Man. Nano trying to stick his nose up there in the Corvette, but J-Man's not having none of it. He says, just sling your hook, mate. This is the order. Remember, Jay was in that 3rd spot, but Flores and Frequency have not pitted. So Jay's missed out to Tim Law as well, hasn't he? Somewhere in these pit stops. Tim Law, half a tank of fuel. They pitted up the same. But I don't know, Tim Law. It was Tim Law. Tim Law was in 2nd, was he? It was Flores, Noir, and I thought Jay was in 3rd, and he had Nano behind him. Or was it Tim Law that was behind him? I don't recall. It was only like 5 minutes ago. Never mind. So Flores then nearly 10 seconds ahead of Frequency, and Noir and Terrace, who took the pit stop. Get some fresh rubber on. It's just what, a lap ahead of Evil Dragon. car would be behind him, unless it's Stacilla Racing. And they shouldn't be down there. They should be ahead of him. Tim Law then fourth. J-Man is fifth with Nano Maranello fighting him with every inch of what he's got. Fred Dude's got himself ahead of Splash, but he's got himself a second penalty, 1 second penalty. So who knows what's happened there. And Splash some way off of Fred Dude. So I don't know what has become between the AXR team. But I know Fred Dude now is putting out there a blistering pace. Now he's got his car fixed. And he's got mountains to climb, but he's got 2 Chevys. No, he's got a Chevy and a Dodge further up the road that he would like to get involved with some racing with. Floris leads. His tyres are starting to get there though. He's into the 32s now, the last few laps. Frequency also joining him in those 32s. As Noir and Terra slamming in a 30 and a 31. And he'll be wanting to close the gap to the one stoppers, not let them get that huge gap that they theoretically could get from not making a pit stop. Tim Law in fourth, just ahead of the battling J-Man and Nano Maranello. These guys have been at it for a while now, and it's been glorious to watch. But are they helping themselves? They're 6.3 seconds ahead of Fred Dude, and it's concerning that they might be costing each other time here. Possibly. Right there, climbing into the boot of that Dodge Viper. Getting down the straights, all up and in the Viper's business. And J-Man having to go over to defend. Nano Maranello pulling up alongside him. It's all about the braking. But Jay's got the inside line. So Nano has to yield the space. These guys, I believe, are catching up with Tim Law. What's Tim Law's last lap? Tim Law did a 31.4, 31.7. So unless Tim Law's made a mistake in this lap, but it's 1.5 seconds between them. And they might be putting the usual... Oh! Something happened there because Nano luckily wasn't on the tail of Jay. And Jay went a little wide there out of that corner. This is the thing, when you start racing, it gets a little messy, and times start slowing down. Lap times start slowing down, and that's what Tim Law would like, because he needs to pull away from those guys ahead of him as they do battle and chase hard. Floris leads, but his fuel is flashing. Didn't quite get to the 30-minute mark. 25 minutes for Floris, and that's your lot. Frequency's fuel as well, so they can't quite get half an hour out of these tanks. Tim Law on half a tank. Noir on half a tank. Tim Law on just over a quarter of a tank. J-Man just over a quarter. Nano Maranello just over a quarter. Fred Dude nearly half, and he's absolutely destroying those lap times out there. He's down to 5.2 seconds between himself and Nano Maranello, who's gone back on the attack of the Dodge. The Dodge has picked up a penalty. The Dodge Viper has picked up a penalty. So Nano Maranello should easily get that. Oh, and the Dodge has gone a bit wide. Crazy racing down here. So Nano Maranello only 2.2 seconds behind the other Corvette. And Floris into the pits. We knew that was going to happen. Frequency will join him soon. And Noir and Terra, can Floris get back out ahead of Noir and Terrace? That is the big question here. No, Frequency looks like he's going around again. Frequency fancies he's got another lap of fuel in that car. He's going for it. Noir and Terrace then. This is the thing. Floris has only just got to his box and Noir and Terrace is through. And up and into second place. Floris now getting fueled up. And that is Noir and Terrace then. Potentially taking the lead of this race, but he's got Frequency who hasn't pitted yet. Floris back out in fifth. Oh my word. Tim Law. Is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? Tim Law does get that third place. Nano Maranello very close behind the J-Man. There's Floris coming out. He is behind the Dodge Viper, and we've seen how difficult. And Fred Dude as well on the scene. And Floris obviously probably wasn't expecting that, but these guys are all going to pit way before Floris will. Floris has filled up whole tank up, and he's going to be going for another 25 to 26 minutes as these guys all dash into the pits in front of him. Splash just behind Floris. And Evil Dragon into the pits. I don't know if he's retired it through lag issues. And Frequency on fumes, making his way around, and he's going to sling that one into the pits now, and that will give Noir and Terrace the lead of this race. This is what Noir could do with maximum points against Frequency, who has gone into the pits. Tim Law then comes through and takes that second place for a Clockwork 1-2 at the moment. And Nano Maranello is chasing him down in the Scuderia. J-Man is in fourth, ahead of Fred Dude. So Fred Dude's gained something somewhere. Oh, ahead of Floris maybe. So Floris though on a long run. Fred Dude 8/10 behind J-Man. Nano Maranello chasing down Tim Law. I don't know who to leave it on for now. I think Fred Dude, because he's catching. We're getting a little tantalising battle, and Floris is catching as well. So we might have a three-way battle here as they catch up with the Finnish driver, the J-Man, Fred Dude, trying to keep the Genesis well behaved as he tries to catch up with that Dodge Viper. Ready to pounce on the Dodge Viper. He's all up and at him. He's got a can-do attitude. He can do this. Fred Dude in the Gen X then closing in on the Dodge Viper. We've got Floris not far behind him, was the race leader before the round. Well, no, not before, because Noir got past him, didn't he? But he led at the beginning. Did Floris doing the car. Now Fred Dude on the action. He's up the inside. Is there room for both? Ooh, Jay had to go out a little wide there. I imagine he would have felt like he'd want more room, but they always say that, don't they? Floris then, the Audi in sixth place, chasing them down. Splash is not that far out of the action as well. And now Fred Dude up and into fourth place, 3.3 seconds behind the Chevy of Nano Maranello, who's at 3 seconds behind Tim Law. Fred Dude, what's just been movement? Oh, poor Jay now has got Floris all up. Floris up the inside and is, Jay's thinking, spaceman, someone, please. And Floris then is through and chasing down Fred Dude. This could be a tantalising battle here with Fred Dude chasing down Nano Maranello. And there's racing action here, there and everywhere. Maranello goes into the pits, as does the J-Man. Let's have a look. Fuel for J and for Nano. Noir's leads. Tim Law is second. Fred Dude is third. Floris is fourth, but going for a very much longer run than Fred Dude. Fred Dude's going to be into the pits pretty much soon. Splash chasing down. Frequency as well, out for the long haul. Although he didn't fuel up, did he? He hasn't fueled up. He's put soft tyres on, so he's starting to go for a bit of a faster stints, more pit stops possibly. Nano's back out of the pits in 7th with J-Man in 8th. And it looks like we've lost Evil Dragon. Jay at the back of the pack now. He's made his pit stops. Noir's leads by 12.6 seconds from Tim Law, who's going to be into the pit stops, the pit lane anytime soon. Maybe if it's not this lap, it's definitely going to be the next one. Let's have a look. I think it'll be this one. That's not a lot of fuel, is it, to carry on around? And he does carry on around. Interesting. Fred Dude as well, starting to show flashes on his dashboard for fuel. He's going around again. Floris, he's going to be cleaning up here, but he's 21 seconds behind Noir. Is that long enough? Is that close enough for a pit stop? Splash, still got a bit of fuel on board, so's Frequency. And he's chasing down Splash. He's not that far away from Splash. Splash did a 31.8 last time around, and it was a 30.8 for Frequency. Floris 2.9 seconds behind Fred Dude. But Fred Dude will be in. Same will Tim Law and Noir. So the top three will probably be in. Floris will retake the lead pretty soon. And where will they all feed out? Them three rather close together. 4th, 5th and 6th. Floris, Splash and Frequency on different strategies. It looked like Frequency was on a similar strategy to Floris, but he's put the soft tyres on and not as much fuel, so he's going for a shorter stint in this phase of the race. Noir's into the pits there. We'll see Tim Law and Fred Dude, I am sure, all filter in. And Floris taking over the lead with that longer pit stop strategy that the Dutchman has adopted. Splash had enough fuel to continue, does he? He does. And so does Frequency. So we've got Floris, Splash and Frequency at the top. Noir should be out anytime soon. He wasn't that far behind him. So now Noir comes out, Nano Maranello and J-Man. Nowhere. Someone's stationary. Oh, that's the pit lane. That's Fred Dude, sorry. So Noir then is out and in 4th place, just somewhere between 3/4 of a tank and half a tank, racing soft tyres. And he's going to be chasing down. What's going on here? Splash and Frequency getting fruity. Love it. So Splash on the inside there, protecting. Will Splash ahead? I don't know. I think Splash might be attacking Frequency in fact. I'm struggling to keep remembrance of who is where. Splash's fuel is flashing though. Frequency will be going for a while. Floris 3 seconds ahead of the Aston Martin. And Frequency, what's the fuel then? Frequency's got a lot less fuel than Floris, but he's got the softer tyres. And he's going to go for the move, it seems now. Look like the Aston Martin just slightly out of place coming out of the corner. And that gave Frequency the opportunity, as Splash, we imagine, will sling it into the pit lane. And that'll be Noir moving up and into 3rd spot. Tim Law, 13 seconds behind him, should stay in 4th. Splash will be coming out anywhere near these guys. Nano, Fred Dude and the J-Man. J-Man must have fueled up a little more than those around him to end up back there. Tim Law then going across the line for 4 for Nano Marinello. He isn't that far behind Tim Law. Splash has been dropped, but he's filling. And Fred Dude makes his way past. And this is not looking great for Splash. He's been released. Jay is just coming around the first corner. Splash is going to be ejected onto the track right in Jay's way, I think. Jay's coming around. And there's Splash. Out onto the bits, and Jay's just ahead of Splash, but there's nothing in it at all between the two drivers. Fantastic stuff. Floris leads from Frequency. They're going long, these guys. They've carried long, heavier fuel loads, and they're taking less pit stops. Noir and Terrace on an absolute tear, using the softs, short stints, and he's going for it. Tim Law in 4th. He's got Nano Marinello for company. And Nano Marinello has been fighting everyone. Fred Dude behind those guys, but he has taken on more fuel. And he'll be trying to catch them up. As we see Nano Marinello just within a second. He's got a little wide coming through there, but it's okay. And he is hunting himself a little Nano Marinello. No, he is Nano Marinello. He's hunting himself a bit of Tim Law action. Coming down the start straight. Just in the background is that Fred Dude you can see in casting a menacing shadow in the distance to keep the Corvettes honest. that's been absolutely delicious watching those Corvettes duke it out over the last couple of laps in silence. It's been amazing. So Flores is leading the race. Oh, Frequency's caught him right up. How's that happened? Excuse me. Frequency doing very fast lap times. Flores consistently keeping a mid-31s. And yeah, Frequency dropping it into the 30s until he's been caught up with the Audi. Now he's got to find a way past the Audi, and this might be a stunning move from him, but Noir is only 7 seconds behind him after his pit stop. So this race could still go any way at the moment. We're 43 minutes into a 2-hour race. Tim Law in 4th with Nano Maranello chasing him down in 5th. And then we got Fred Dude in 6th. And he's got the fastest lap of the race so far. And he's only a second behind the guys ahead of him. That one, sorry, one button. So sat alongside the legend that is Fred Dude, the Belgian, is absolutely chunking it along at the moment, smashing out those lap times, trying to catch up the 2 Corvettes ahead of him. Frequency, remember, is all over the back of the Audi. We've got racing everywhere here. So Fred Dude catching up with Nano, who's a second behind Tim at the moment. Then we got Frequency, all shades of racy, and he's pulled the trigger. He's up and he's in the lead for the first time this evening. We have Stasilla Racing at the head of the pack, where we are used to seeing them. So a Frequency then, with that turnaround in the last pit stop, putting on the soft tyres, a little less fuel. Flores, remember, has got more fuel on board than Frequency, can go longer, just needs to stay with the back of Frequency for as long as he can. Noir and Terrace catching them up hand over fist. He was like 6 seconds behind him just now. Now it's down into 5 seconds. Tim and Nano, nothing's changed there, but Fred Dude is definitely ready to pounce. He's caught up the Corvette in no uncertain terms. He means business as he comes up to the back of the American. The American's got a sideways on, and it's Fred Dude then pulling the trigger on that move, and he sent it. He licked that stamp, boy, and he sent it. So Fred Dude up into 5th ahead of the Corvette, but it's not over yet. They're doing a drag race down the start straight to see who's going to get to the corner first, but it's Fred Dude who's got the inside line there, and it's Fred Dude that is keeping the 5th place. But again, Tim Law, Nano Maranello getting ready to get his move on as they get the drag race going down there, but Nano out of fuel, out of options. He's going to have to pit pretty soon, and Fred Dude managing to be able to stay out there for a bit longer, and Fred Dude doing what he needs to do to keep Nano in his place. And Nano again having a look up the inside of the Gen X, but the Genesis X says, nay man, nay, I've worked for this 5th, I'm keeping hold of it. Tim Law surely will be pitting. So no, Tim Law's got good fuel, so it's only Nano Maranello in that little group that's going to have to make a pit stop pretty soon. Frequency then pulling steadily away from Flores. Remember, Flores on the medium tyres and a little bit more fuel than Frequency. Noir and Terrace down to 4 seconds now from him and the Audi driver Tim Law. In 4th for Clockwork, Fred Dude 5th, pulling away from Nano, but Nano's got to take it into the pits. How many positions is he going to lose? Jay is only a second, 1.7 seconds behind Splash, as Nano hasn't even made it to his box yet. He's going to lose those 2 positions easily. Oh no, Jay's coming as well. Jay's coming. He's got plenty of fuel. He's not happy with the tyres, obviously. Frequency leads 2.2 seconds. He's on a charge. Flores then playing the long game. Feels he's still got this one, I imagine, in the pocket. Noir and Terrace, though, he's also racing for that win today. Tim Law has done a good job. He's soaked up the pressure off of Nano throughout this stint. Kept it steady, kept it simple, and he's sitting in 4th place at the moment. But Fred Dude in the remarkable Genesis is starting to catch him up. Jay's gone for a set of medium tyres and a full tank of fuel. Jay's going out for the long turn, and Nano's got a half a tank, just over half a tank of fuel with Racing Softs. Splash on a quarter of a tank of fuel. His Racing Softs nicely bedded in. Fred Dude over halfway through his tyres, and he's down to half a quarter of his fuel tank. Tim Law, similar fuel, better tyres than the man behind him. Noirs is down to 3.5 seconds now between himself and Floris. These two will be pitting pretty much similar times, I think, with their fuel loads. Frequency might be the first man in, though, of all of them. Fred Dude a 31.2 last time around. He's dropped into the 31s with that, and Tim Law is in the late 30s, so Fred Dude should still catch the Corvette. The Corvette's fuel now flashing for fuel, so Fred Dude, well, he only has to sit out a lap longer to get that position. Frequency then, his fuel's flashing, or what will he do as he comes up the hill to the final corner? Is he going to chuck it into the pits? Will he go round again? Knowing Frequency, I'm sure he'll go round again, which he does. Floris then, still good fuel with Floris, still good tyres. Then we've got Noirs catching them up, and his fuel now starting to flash. Tim Law has got the Fred Dude now. These two, Fred Dude's fuel suddenly is dropped as well. So we're going to have a string of pit stops coming 50 minutes in this race. We've got an hour and 10 minutes left to go. Splash okay for fuel. Nano Maranello pitted a few laps ago, and Jay pitted, put on those medium tyres. He's really gone all in on the long run there in the Dodge Viper. Frequency leads in the McLaren for Stasila Racing. We're 50 minutes into a 2-hour race. They've done 33 laps so far of the Interlagos track. And as soon as this stream finishes after the 2-hour mark, another stream will start with these guys, teammates, taking on the challenge for another 2 hours. So Frequency 3 seconds ahead of Floris. Floris 2.7 seconds ahead of Noir, and we think Frequency's definitely going to pit at the end of this lap. Noir may pit at the end of this lap, we'll see. So back to Frequency coming up the hill. And that's Frequency into the pits. Floris stays out. What does Noir do? Noir comes in as well. Noir comes in. Interesting. Tim Law, he's going to have to come in, and I believe Fred Dude also will be in at the end of this lap as they come up the hill. There's the pit lane to their left, and they both drop it in, and it's down to the pit crew now between these two. Who's going to get out first? Splash should stay out, I would think. His tyres look okay. Fuel looks okay. 31.5 he's doing at the moment. And he goes through, and is he going to jump up into second? No, because Frequency's out of his box. They let him out of his cage, and he's doing just fine. So that's Frequency back on the track ahead of Splash, just about. Splash's fuel just starting to flash, and Noir there, he's gone more fuel than we've seen him go. 3/4. It's similar fuel for the pair of them. Tim Law back out of the pits just ahead of Fred Dude, and Tim Law's got a lot less fuel than Fred Dude in this stint. Nano Maranello coming down the start straight. He's only 1.8 seconds behind Fred Dude, but he's just not close enough to make an impact in that first corner, and Jay, oh, he's lost the pack there. 17 seconds. He's got to hope that long stint does the job. AquepaX Racing said we should even have an appearance from our friend from Oz. For stint, says your accent wasn't up to scratch last round thingy. Is he going to be here though? There's still plenty of time for him to get sick. We've still got an hour left. Don't you know? He might get a boo-boo in the next hour. Let's fingers crossed that Stig stays out of trouble for the next hour. Castlemaine 4X though. So Flores into the pits this time around, and Noir and Terrace will get that position, I think. Flores, that was a quick turnaround for Flores, wasn't it? I can't believe it. I thought he was going to be way behind Frequency and Noir's. So Flores then onto the medium tyres. He's staying strong with his strategy, and he is behind Noir and Terrace, who's got just, well, halfway between 3/4 and half a tank of fuel. Frequency on 3/4 of a tank of fuel, 3.5 seconds ahead of Noir, who's 1.5 seconds ahead of the Audi of Flores. Tim Law managed to keep hold of that fourth from Fred Dude, but he's had to short fuel the Corvette to make sure he stayed ahead of Fred Dude. Nano Marinello in the action as well, 1.7 seconds. He's close up and down the field. Splash has had to make a pit stop, and he's nearly 10 seconds behind Nano. And Jay, they're only 7 seconds now behind Splash, which must make him feel better because he was 17 seconds behind everyone. So Jay in the Dodge Viper changed it around, decided to fill up. He was in the action. He was running in third at one point, remember? And he went in, did a long fill on the tank, medium tyres, and look at him, he's doing 32s on the reg, and everyone else is doing 30s and 31s, I'm afraid. Frequency, I don't think anyone's going to catch him, are they? 31.2 from Noir last time around. Frequency a 31.0, so Frequency putting it out of bounds for everyone. Flores has got those medium tyres on, but he's got a 16-second buffet from him and Tim Law, who now has Fred Dude for fun and frolics around into Lagos. The Belgian taking no prisoners today. Into the corner then. Fred Dude masterfully controlling the Genesis X up against the Corvette. Just the Gen X just seems to be sitting right on those apexes sweetly. Thunderstorms in the lobby host area. Let's hope for the best. Ooh, You know, Sony's lobbies don't like any kind of interference, atmospherical or anything. They don't really like, a cat in the room. So Frequency then crosses the line in the lead. I know I pulled away from what could be a juicy battle there. I just wanted to make sure everything is as it should be up at front. Nano Marinello 3 seconds behind the battle here. If Tim Law gets his elbows out, Nano Marinello could be right on the back of these. Fred Dude wants to make this quick, clean and clinical to avoid having to race Nano again behind him. But the Corvettes are just a bit feisty, and that Gen X, it might have some grunt, but it just can't jump the Corvettes when it's side-by-side action, so we'll see. Sorry. I think the nose needs blowing. It's irritating. Fred Dude then getting right up in Tim Law's action and letting him know that he is there and ready to partay. Tim Law. Just holding fast Tyres are still brand new on Tim Law's car, so he should be in a comfortable position, but Fred Dude is formidable around here, we have seen. I think he's still holding the fastest lap. He is with a 30.3. Tim Law having to do... Tim Law must be thinking, have I not raced enough today? Can I not get a break? Can I not get one stint where I can just concentrate on car management and consistent lap times? Why have I got someone all up and in my business in every lap? Massey would say that it's called a motor race. So Tim Law then, 4th place, ahead of Fred Dude, who is looking like he wants to get that job done. Nano Maranello hasn't closed in as quickly as we thought, and yeah, Fred Dude is losing nearly half a second stuck behind Tim Law at the moment. You can see he's going to manage a mid to late 30. He's done an early 31 last time around, but Nano Maranello's lost a chunk of time. Hang on, 6. And I cannot see why. He was, he's dropped a second or 2 from behind him. 2.5, shall we say. So when Nano Maranello, I thought, would be closing in on the battling Genesis and Corvette, he's dropping back more. And Fred Dude really harrying the Corvette now. He really wants to force a mistake on Tim. Tim, though, a savvy racer. He's been around for a while. I don't imagine he's going to be intimidated, should we say. But this is it. This is where the Genesis really can open up its engine and chug on by, but he just can't do it against the Corvette. Back into another braking zone. He's having a look, but he's just too far back. And the Corvette just ahead, and now Fred wants to stay right on the back of the Corvette coming out of this corner to try and go for an attack down this straight. And he's looking to stay there, but it's just not long enough for him, is it? Oh, closes in into the braking zone, but Tim Law is on it today. And Fred Dude unable to do anything. And again, Nano losing another second. He must have turned the fuel down. He's turned the wick down in that car, because he's losing a second a lap on these two ahead. So I think Nano Maranello trying to eke out his car to go a few more laps at the cost of losing time to these two when they're racing each other and losing time themselves. Tim Law did put it into the 30s last time around. Fred Dude as well, 30.7. And I know we want to see what's happening up in the front of this race, but I cannot take my eyes off of this race. Can't take my eyes off of you. Of the song before I said anything anymore. So there's no point. So Fred Dude all there, everywhere, all the time, and Tim Law gets no rest. Gets no rest from the onslaught of the Genesis X. Right, we're going to have a quick look. I'm going to have a quick look around the field, because it looks like Fred just cannot do anything about this Corvette, and he's going to have to wait for the pit stops. He might be able to slip one through, but we can't watch these two all day, can we? So frequency is 3.8 seconds ahead of Noir, 30.7 last time around. He's doing about mid-30s, Noir Antares. He's done a 30.8. He's around mid-30s, well, mid to late 30s. Is Noir, 4 seconds behind frequency. Floris staying with them 31.5s with that long strategy. And yeah, Noir's going to be the first one to pit between those guys. Then we've got Tim Law in 4th, trying to fend off Fred Dude. Fred Dude trying to beat off Tim. Nano Marinello in 6th, who's dropped so much time. Look at 37. That last time around, the Splash is all up and ready. Oh, this is going to be tricky because I think Nano wants to go into the pit lane and Splash has gone on his inside. Oh, we've seen this so many times. And yeah, no, he isn't going in the pit lane, sorry. I thought Nano Marinello was going to go for the pit lane. He's going to go for that position back. And Splash on the inside, though, keeps it for himself. There you go. Sweet stuff for Splash in the Aston Martin. Still got over a quarter of a tank of fuel where Nano, this will be his final lap in that car. The J-Man, 14 seconds behind, and I just don't think this strategy, the medium tyres, is working for the Viper. Frequency 4.5 seconds ahead of Noir. There's Floris. He's like the turtle. He's letting the hares do all the work, and he's skipping along like Pepe Le Pew, quite happy in his own little world, saying, "Oh, mademoiselle, you have never seen such a skunk with such beautiful plumage. I must have you. Wow, she is playing hard to get." I bet they banned all them kind of, I don't know if you lot know what I'm talking about, the skunk that used to always fall in love with a cat that had a white stripe painted on it. And he was French. I think his name was Pepe Le Pew. But it was really rapey. It's scary, really. I can't imagine they can play them anymore. He forced himself on those poor cats. They had no choice. Frequency 4.4 seconds ahead of Noir Antares, who is 8 seconds ahead of Floris, whom is 13 seconds ahead of Tim Law, who is 0.4 of a second ahead of Fred Dude, who's 12 seconds ahead of Splash. Nano Marinello has had to make that pit stop, and this could get Jay back in the action. And it looks like Nano Marinello and Jay seem to have dropped out of the sharp end of the fight. They were both up there, and their strategies, they might be just out of sync at the moment, but it doesn't look to me like how are they going to get themselves back up into the action. I am just not sure. Frequency 4.7 seconds. Let's watch Tim Law and Fred Dude. That's where the action lies. Nano Marinello is going to come out behind the J-Man. Some way behind. Yeah, Nano Marinello. That's not gone well for him at all. I might be eating those words come later in the race. 54 minutes to go. Fred Dude 0.3 off of Tim Law. There's nothing. Fred, look, he's like a cork in a bottle. He can't get past it. So Tim Law would be the cork in the bottle. Sorry. Tim Law is Gandalf. He says, "You shall not pass." Although I imagine Fred Dude is coasting, lifting and coasting a bit in the corners as well, using the toe to help him through, and taking this situation and using it to his advantage by saving tyres, saving fuel, and but still 26 seconds off the leader at the moment is Fred Dude with 53 minutes to go. Do we think he can still get a win? It's going to be tricky. I mean, I didn't think Frequency was going to... I thought he was finishing last today after that first stint. And now look at him. He's turned it around. Noir Antares, 4.6 seconds behind. And I said he was going to run out of fuel first out of the top three. And I stand by that. Tim Law is running out of fuel. So Fred Dude... he's not going to have many laps without the Corvette ahead of him, but he will be pleased to know that Corvette should shuffle out of the way in either this lap or the next. And I think Fred Dude would probably feel that he's lost time, stuck behind Tim Law. He was doing 30s, and he's had to do 31s for the last 4 or 5 laps. Tim Law does stay out. Fred Dude looks like he's having a bit of a rest. He's backed off a little bit. Splash doing well, 6th place. way ahead of J-Man, who's way ahead of Nano. I don't understand. I don't understand how that's happened. So we're seeing a couple of thirsty cars out there. 4th place, Tim Law. He's going to need to pit. And so will Fred Dude in the next lap or two. Splash, can he gain some places there? He may do. And J-Man, I don't think he will though. He's over 40 seconds behind. Fred Dude. Is he? Can't be 40. 28. Yeah, about that. Maybe 30 seconds behind Fred Dude. Just about a pit stop. We'll see. We'll see. Frequency leads. Quarter of a tank of fuel. His rear left tyre is starting to look a little agitated. Noir has had to come in. So Noir's come in. Floris moves up and into 2nd place. And Floris being on a very similar strategy to Frequency. Although no, Frequency's going to pit a lot sooner than Floris does. Floris sticking to the programme. And we've got Tim Law and Fred Dude all coming in. Splash then. Is he going to make big gains? Big gains, bro. Big gains. Noir is on his way. And he should still come out in 3rd, I would think. Splash then coming into the first corners. As Noir ejected onto the racetrack. Splash in 4th. Tim Law just getting released. And so is Fred Dude, again looking at the back of the Corvette, which I imagine he would rather not be. And Splash will be making a pit stop in the next lap or two. And Jay's moved up in between, cutting Tim Law. But Tim Law on a fresh set of soft tyres, half a tank of fuel. Jay, his fuel's flashing and his mediums are starting to look rather haggard. And Fred Dude on a brand new set of softs and 3/4 of a tank of fuel. And I think Jay will be out of their way so they can make hay any day. So Frequency is leading by 14.5 seconds. Floris there, similar strategy. He's going to be going longer in this stint though. I think Frequency changed his strategy from doing the long stints like he did in the first run to then putting softs on and shorter runs of fuel. It'll be interesting how that works out. Noir 22.9 seconds behind Floris. And it's all very good, but by the time he'll catch Floris up, it'll be time for a pit stop again. Splash is in, so Tim Law comes up and over the start straight. Gets himself ahead of the Aston Martin while it's in the pits. Fred Dude makes his way by the J-Man, who's on the medium tyres, and his fuel is pretty rough as well. I'm surprised he's gone round again, trying to eke out that tank for as late and long as possible. Splash is released as Nano Marinello crosses the line. Can he get himself ahead of Splash? It's looking doubtful, isn't it? Splash is going to be way out before Nano's on the scene. Excuse me. So there goes Splash, back out onto the track, 3/4 of a tank of fuel, a fresh set of racing soft tyres, and that Nano Marinello not that far behind, less fuel, and his tyres are nicely bedded in. So Nano Marinello aiming at Splash there to try and get a position. Splash being calm, collected, just doing what he needs to do. Tim Law in 4th, only 1.3 seconds ahead of Fred Dude. Fred Dude getting past the J-Man we saw earlier, who's going to have to bring it into the pits. He's on fumes. He's on vapours in that tank. And what's he going to do? Another set of mediums, another long stint? Or is he going to try and short? Is he mixing it up? just to keep it interesting for himself. Splash and Nano are going to get that position easily. And Nano trying to close in on Splash every single corner, eking in the Aston Martin as they both move up a position whilst the J-Man is in the pit lane. Frequency leads from Floris, and Noir and Terrace is in third. Tim Law fourth, Fred Dude is fifth with Splash in sixth, and we are looking at Splash from Nano Marinello's POV. 4/10 in it between these two drivers. Splash driving for the AXR team, with Nano Marinello racing for Scuderia Chiara, however you say it. My elbow is really cold, I'm resting it on the table. Close the conservatory, it's starting to get dark. Don't forget there's thunderstorms where the host is residing in the safe house, so the lobby could go kaput at any point, and that's alright. I can do a Google search for dad jokes or something, because I'm paid to be here 2 hours, lads. I don't get to go home early. We'll just stream pictures of cars, go through the garage. We'll go through my garage and say why that car's a waste of time being there. So now, Nano Marinello closing in. Although I have found a car that I am utterly in love with. That VAC mono, back mono. It's so much fun. Frequency comes into the pits. So Floris still got just under a quarter of a tank of fuel. Will take the lead. It looked like they had a little lift there before the pits. I think they had to think about it. Or was it just a pit stop? I mean, a gear change. A bit delayed for a gear change. Sure, you get 6. He went into a braking zone. And Noir and Terrace then comes up and across the line to get himself ahead of Frequency. And still, with 45 minutes of this race to go, I can't put my finger on who the winner is going to be. Is Frequency on the move? Frequency's on the move. It's going to be close between himself and Noir. It's not, is it? It's going to be easily Frequency. No, it's going to be close. Noir's coming around there. Frequency is just coming down the pit lane. Noir's there on the road, and Noir is just ahead of Frequency, but it's very tight. Frequency's put a hell of a load of fuel in that car. He's going long, and Noir only half a tank of fuel left as he resides, and Floris just under a quarter of a tank, but his tyres are starting to move away from him. Fred Dude has got himself past Tim Law. I apologise, I've missed it, but Fred Dude up and into 4th place, and Tim Law looking to try and get a tow and go around the outside, but Fred Dude maintains. Beautiful racing between the Corvette and the Genesis X, and it's been faultless, absolutely faultless. Tim Law trying to go around the outside of the Gen, and it's just not happening for him. He's got bored with Tim Law. Enjoy a bit of this wavy car action. Well, I closed the conservatory so the rabbit doesn't get hit by foxes or something. Yeah. Rabbit safe. What beautiful action we have been seeing here, sat on board the Corvette. And my iPad's not going to survive. The battery is going. I've got it charging. Maybe I'll get the other charger, because that's a better charger than this one. So Tim Law then into the toe. He's going high into the first corner, but Fred Dude has that covered. No, oof. I don't know what happened there. The lag just went absolutely crazy. We're on lap 51 now of a 2-hour race. 41 minutes left on the clock. Flores is leading by 16.7 seconds, but he is ready for a pit stop. His team are preparing themselves in the pit lane as we speak. They are expecting him in imminently. Let's see if he follows team orders, comes into the pits, or if he thinks he can eke another lap out of that Audi. And there he goes then, Flores into the pits. Noir Antares then should take the lead of this race. He's on a quarter of a tank of fuel, being chased by Frequency, who's only 2 seconds behind, and Frequency barely bedding in his tyres yet, and plenty of fuel on board. And I tell thee, even down to Fred Dude, I feel that Fred Dude and Tim Law still could be in the shout with a win here today. The top 5, I'm struggling to call it. So Flores then gets himself topped up with fuel and gets ready to get back out, and he should be ahead of Fred Dude, and that will probably be the answer to if Fred Dude and Flores can still get into the win. There goes Flores then out into the pit lane, and these guys nowhere near. Fred Dude then bringing it around with Tim Law, but Flores is out and away. Woo! Full tank of fuel, racing medium tyres, no messing about. So it's all about Noirs then. Sorry, I'm sniffing out. I've got boogers, man. I've got boogers. I don't know why. So Noir leads with Frequency, chasing him down, 2.2 seconds between the two. Flores with a pit stop out, and I reckon he's probably got one more pit stop to do of this race, where Noir has probably got 2, 3, possibly. Frequency might be able to get one more pit stop done in this race.
0 British drivers in an AXR race.
And AequepaX Racing saying, I think this is the first 0 British drivers in an AXR race. Well, Splash then. He's got a British flag. Do we not count Splash? Screw you, Splash. Get out of our country. Maybe he's Irish, or Welsh, or Scottish. So Noir Antares leads by 1.8 seconds. The American. He's on a sprint style strategy. He's been short filling, using the soft tyres, and just
Lithuanian in Lithuania, but PD doesn't seem to recognize them.
Oh, I see. Splash is Lithuanian in Lithuania, but PD doesn't seem to recognise them. Someone buy PD a bloody map. How hard is it just to put all the flags on there, even the really sort of like Welsh ones and Scottish ones that no one knows what they are? So Noir Antares is leading the way with Frequency in second. Flores is in third. Fred Dude is fourth. Tim Law, the American, is still on Fred Dude's case, and it's nothing between them. These two are scrapping for the best of the rest here today. I think they can't touch the top 3. I think the top 3 have put it out of play. So Tim Law and Fred Dude battling for that 4th spot. Splash, I found out, is Lithuanian. I don't know how to say hello in Lithuanian. I can say it in Spanish. Hola, mi amigo, soy thingamajig. Mucho gusto. Jay in 7th, fighting with Nano and Maranello. These two have battled out a lot of the race. Jay's had to fight a few guys today. He's been battling hard. And Nano Maranello looks like he's going to get the move done. Nano Maranello on those soft tyres. And Captain Jay on the mediums, half a tank of fuel, managing just to keep it ahead of the American. Cracking racing up and down the field we've seen today. And it's hard to call it. Jay at the moment just keeping that dodge on the inside to make life difficult for Nano Maranello, and Nano Maranello has to back out of it, rethink his plan and go for another line, and he's going to try and go edge around the outside. His car's having an absolute fit in the background. The code cannot keep up with the speed these cars are travelling, and Noir and Terrace 0.8 seconds ahead now of Frequency. Frequency is really, really slowly pulling him in. Flores is 21 seconds behind these guys, but we think Flores is only stopping one more time, where we believe, wow, Frequency could probably get away with one more stop, but we think Noir and Terrace, unless we'll get into nearly 30 minutes. It's about 30 minutes on a full tank of fuel, if you're really careful with your accelerator. But I don't know what Noir's got in there. Maybe that's why he's slowed down. He's not going to get to 30 minutes, and even 30 minutes is a push. So even if Noir fills that bad boy right up, ooh, he's slowing right down, and Frequency just whammed up and into his rear hiney. And there's a little love pump in his hiney. Frequency penetrating the BMW from behind with great force and velocity. So Noirs will be bringing it in this one, and there's not really much he can do with strategy. Even if he fills it up, I still feel he might, unless he has to turn that engine right down, he will have to make another pit stop. Whereas Frequency and Flores, I think they're good to just do one more stop of the day. Tim Law, he's going to have to come in another one that might not be able to get a tank to last the rest of this race, and Fred Dude coming in as well. So these guys, I feel Splash may be able to eke it out if he chooses to. Nano Maranello, half a tank of fuel, with the J-Man also on half a tank of fuel. These guys giving us great entertainment today. And Frequency leads. Noir still not out yet. He's coming around. And Splash finding himself up in 4th with Tim Law and Fred Dude pitting as well. And don't forget, I think these guys are going to have to pit again. What did Noir put into his car? I'm going to have to get some tissues. My nose is just dribbling.
Well, there will be more stock for everyone.
3/4 of a tank. Yeah, no, but it's the amount of stops I was trying to work out. Like, that was a stop, so Noir's going to have to stop again, whereas I think Flores is just going to need to stop the once. But I think Noir, well, I was surmising before he made his pit stop that he's going to have to do 2 stops before the end of this race. Kyle in the chat saying, nah, there will be more stops for everyone. Yes, Frequency's going to do, but I think Frequency only has to do one more stop before the end of this race. I think Flores will only have to do one more stop before the end of the race. Noir now will have to do a stop, but he's just stopped as well. I was just thinking out loud if Noir could stretch that out, the fuel he had, to try and fill up the tank and just go a run to the end. So he's going to be at a disadvantage. He's already 10 seconds behind Flores on the same fuel.
Yay, Flores and Frequency will have to stop once, going to be crazy.
Yeah, Floris and Frequency will have to stop once. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be mental come the end because I still can't tell whose strategy is working best. Splash doing okay, but he's going to have to come in now. And that will put Tim Law back into fourth. Fred Dude. Oh, Fred Dude's lost that fourth place to Tim Law in the pits somewhere. But I think it's because Fred Dude puts in a little bit more fuel because the Genesis X is a little thirstier than the Corvette, believe it or not. J-Man, he's left Nano behind. Them two was absolutely bumper to nose. And now the J-Man pulling out a bit of a lead on the Racing Soft laden car. Whoa, the Corvette wanting to jump off the racing line there. Frequency then 22.5 seconds ahead of Floris. This is intriguing. And Noir and Terrace trying to get back on the back of those two before the pit stop so we can have a three-way battle, bumper to nose all the way, because that's what's going to happen. They're all going to come in and pit, and when it all shakes out, they're all going to be wanting the same piece of real estate on track. Splash into the pits then. That'll put Tim Law back up, and Tim Law has got Fred Dude very close behind, so he's got to watch himself. And Fred Dude then trying to get the toe. Probably a little too far back at this point. Just slings that Gen X to the right and gets it to stick. Unbelievable stuff. Splash into the pits. He's going to come out in the way of Jay and Maranello, isn't he? That's their race. He's coming around. No, he might be all right, you know. Jay and Maranello are too far behind, and Splash looks safe. Splash is 6th place. He's managed to scramble it from the J-Man and Nano Maranello. Great stuff from Splash. Can he keep it? He's going to have to pit again, though. They're all going to have to pit again. See, I'd be very tempted just to chuck a load of fuel in and try and wind that engine down, son. So Frequency 22.5 seconds. Floris as well. They're going very late into this final 30 minutes with Noir and Terrace. He has caught him up quite a bit. 34.9 from Floris last time around. Huge mistake or huge fuel save. Who knows? But Noir and Terrace has half the gap. He was just about, 8-9 seconds behind Floris, and now it's down to 6 seconds.
Time and Fred is great, that is for third in the championship.
And Kyle in the chat saying, but the battle between Time and Tread is great. That is for third in the championship. Tim and Fred. Yes, sorry, Tim and Fred. Sorry. I was thinking Time and Tread, as in sort of the time. I thought there was some equation there of tread left on tyres and the time it takes to get to the end of the race. I was like, oh, this is the magical equation of strategies. But yeah, Tim and Fred. This one is for third in the championship. You've got AXR and Clockwork Motorsports Vectra, that's a car. Vertex, sorry. Very close in the championship together. So this one's crucial. So Vertex are on 209 points, AXR are on 203 points. So the Gen X is 6 points behind the Chevy. So Fred Dude really does need to finish ahead of the Clockwork Motorsports team to gain that third position in the championship. Frequency 26.5 seconds ahead of Floris, but Floris is going to be late pitting a lot later than Frequency, but will be pitting nonetheless. And Noir also Pushing on, similar fuel to Floris. I imagine he's going to try and catch up with Floris, maybe even get by Floris before his pit stops. And they'll all be there in the sweet spot together. That's what we're looking forward to here at AXR Racing. Tim Law, fourth, still keeping Fred Dude at bay. Splash, no man's land really, 17 seconds behind Fred Dude. And 12.5 seconds ahead of... Nano Marinello's gone past Jay. What's happened there? Because he was some way behind him, wasn't he? And the leaders caught them up. So here we go. Oh, there we go. Jay making a bit of a mess of the first corner. And that didn't quite let Nano Marinello through. But it's a nightmare for... Stacilla Racing, because he came across all of that. I don't know if it's cost him time. We'll have a look. He has cleared it, but it's going to have cost him time, that one. Time that he cannot give up in this race at the moment, with it being so tight for those margins for the win. And Noir and Terrace, 4.2 seconds behind Floris. Floris hasn't... Oh, well, he did a 34.9, I guess. But on a whole, has been doing them mid-31s. This whole race, he has been as consistent as you can be. Noir and Terrace keeping it into the 30s as he chases after the Audi and Frequency. Just chugging along, happily in the lead of this race. Tim Law trying to keep that Chevy ahead of Fred Dude to help with the points in the championship. Fred Dude pushing hard for the AXR team. Splash in 6th. He's looking pretty safe against Marinello and Jay, who are both getting themselves ready for a pit stop anytime soon for the Dodge Viper and the Corvette in 7th and 8th position. Frequency then, fuel is starting to flash. He will be the first one in of the top 3. Floris still with half a tank. He's not going to try and make that tank of fuel last all the way to the end, is he? There's no way he can do that. No way. No, there's no possible way. Noir's then 3.8 seconds behind. He's catching him up a second a lap. That's Frequency at the bottom of the hill. Is he going to stay? I think he's going to stay out for another lap, but his rear right tyre is really angry. And we'll see Jay and, well, we might not see Jay come in, but Nano Marinello, I believe, will definitely come in. End of this lap, no. Frequency then stays out, and Marinello stays out. His fuel's very tight. His fuel is very tight. It's going to be a struggle, and Nano trying to get the position off of Jay. Jay's underneath him in the Viper, and these two are just having themselves a little bit of fun there, aren't they? Having themselves a good old-fashioned race. We love it. Oh, and there goes Nano Marinello as Jay goes slightly wide in turn 3. Call it, and Nano's got a shaky shake on at the moment. These two definitely going to be pitting at the end of this lap, I am pretty sure, as they struggle with the lack of grip in those cars to keep them on the grey stuff. Frequency, he'll be pitting at the end of this lap as well, I am sure. Floris, good to go for a while yet. And Noir and Terrace catching up Floris little by little. Tim Law battling with Fred Dude, doing all he can for the championship to keep Fred Dude behind. Splash in no man's land. Nano Marinello then comes around. That fuel's looking very, very flimsy in the tank, and he brings her in along with the J-Master. Frequency also in as well. And Floris then head down, crack on. Floris in the Audi, sticking to his guns on that strategy, just going long, long, long every time. Noir ever catching up with Floris, but he's down to a quarter of a tank of fuel, and Floris is just over a quarter of a tank of fuel. So Floris still managing that car, fuel saving like crazy. We've got 21 minutes left of this race. Noir and Terrace chasing. Did a 31.1 last time around. Floris doing a 31.5. Frequency now out. And surely, by Jove, that is enough to get to the end. And that is Frequency done and dusted. Noir's got to stop, and he's only 7 seconds ahead of Frequency. And it's not looking good for Noir. I think Frequency's got it. I think them two pitting ahead of him is going to put him comfortably in the lead of this race. Tim Law. Storm in the chat saying Jay and Nano need 14 laps out of mediums to finish. They can do it. I have faith. Well, Nano's gone for softs and a full tank. They've both gone softs and full tanks. These two are just bombing it all the way till the end now. 20 minutes left of this race. Splash. Tell Noir to go faster. Noir, you got to go faster, man. Harry Mop says, and Storm saying, nah, won't work, lol. So Nano and Jay, you reckon I'm going to get there? And Frequency is in the driving sheets. One of them should have gambled to racing mediums. They got one more stop now. Yeah, they'll probably drive them until they're just red raw. That's what she said. Floris then 2.3 seconds ahead of Noir, who's pushing like boogery, but they've got 7 seconds. How did he do? I know he was 20 odd seconds ahead, but I thought it was still going to wash out, that they were going to be quite close together. But it looks like Frequency has pulled off the impossible here and absolutely trounced it. Tim Law still keeping the Gen X behind, and this one is for the championship here. And Speedy Man Charles says, I can tell you right now, Nano don't give a damn, lol. About the red tyres, I'm guessing. Storm says they're running 32s on 10 lap softs, 33s on racing mediums. Would have taken them to 23 minutes of running. Well, Jay must know that. He was on the medium tyres in the middle of the race. He went to the mediums at one point. So you'd think they've been doing it for a while. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on those. We'll keep an eye on their tyres then. They came out with less than 22 to go. Harry Mop saying, laugh my A off at Speedy Man Charles. So Floris then 1.7 seconds, still a good amount of fuel on board. He's barely using that fuel. I know he can't get the fuel to last all the way, but he's making it last quite a lot. Noir and Terrace then 1.4 seconds behind. And I fear this is the battle for second place, because Frequency has pulled an absolute blinder. Tim Law and his shadow, he cannot get rid of him. And Tim Law then 4th place at the moment with the Gen X right there. These two getting themselves prepped and ready for a pit stop. And Splash there in no man's land. Jay and Nano battling it out for the wooden spoon. And Floris there 1.2 as Harry Mop, well not Harry Mop, Will Noir and Terrace is chasing him down. In the chat then, Storm saying, do your homework. Who, me? Sorry. And Harry Mop saying, I did yesterday. Lol. I don't know who Storm's telling off. I don't know what strategies are what. So Floris comes in, and so does Noir. They both come into the pits. Frequency then just continues on like a boss. for Stacilla Racing, and any hope that Clockwork Motorsport Apex had a chance in this championship has just been destroyed by Frequency. Pat in the chat saying, oh, hello, I've got to put the glasses on, Pat. Pat saying, stumbled across this one, thought I'd check it out, then thought, hang on, I recognise that voice. Yeah, man, I've been doing this for like the last eight rounds, my man Pat. But nice of you to say hello. So, Floris then, into the pits, out of the pits. Noir, these two are going to have themselves a straight fight. Floris has gone for soft tyres for the first time today, and it's going to be a straight battle from the German manufacturers. Audi versus BMW. Stop the press. We've got a hot one. We got a hot one, guys. Read it here. Frequency then, 25 seconds in the lead, and he can just put that one in reverse and drive it home backwards for the last 15 minutes. Floris there in second, and Tim Law and Fred Dude both into the pits, back out of the pits. Splash moves up and into fourth place, but he's got to make a pit stop before the end, and this is a straight battle now. Racing softs. Fred Dude still putting that little bit more fuel in because the Gen X is a thirsty boy. Jay and Nano still stuck in battle, and we are watching to see how long it is until those soft tyres go boom. They go. And a glorious battle they've given us all race as well, with the J-Man and Nano and Maranello. It's been delicious. So then, we've got Frequency miles ahead of everyone. We've got Floris and Noir and Terrace out to do battle for the podium. The rest of the podium. Splash coming into the pits, giving up that position to Tim Law and Fred Dude. And these two have axes to grind in the championship, with Tim Law's team currently sitting third in the championship, only, what was I say, 9 points or 6 points ahead of Fred Dude's AXR team. So they want to get big points against the Corvettes here, which means they've got to finish ahead of the Corvette. Frequency, he can just absolutely pick his own pace here. Floris still 2 seconds ahead of Noir, and Noir, you know, wants second place, but so does Floris. So we've got a conflict of interest here. We need to go into a negotiation, and I'm sure when Noir gets on the back of the Audi, negotiations will begin. Rules of engagement apply. Let's do battle. But since Floris put those soft tyres on, it looks like Noir cannot catch him. Let's have a look. 30.8 from Floris. 30.6 from Noir. It's a slow catch, but Noir is slowly making his way there. Tim Law 3/10 ahead. We got battling here. We got battling for second and third, fourth and fifth, and 7th and 8th. It is crazy. After 1 hour and 47 minutes, these guys have been battling all the way through it. Frequency leads by 24.5 seconds. When did he do that? Floris there, a 30.8 last time around. That's his fastest lap that he's managed in the car, with Noir and Terrace chasing him down. 1.8 seconds. He just can't get on the back of the Audi. Tim Law wishes that was the case for Fred Dude, because Fred Dude has not left. He's like become the shadow of Tim Law. Tim Law, when he wakes up tomorrow morning and walks around his house, he's going to be looking over his shoulder to see where Fred Dude is, because he has been hounding him for over 40 minutes, I'd say, maybe longer. And now he's going for a move in the hairpin of the inside. It wasn't the tidiest of moves, and Fred Dude backs out of that one. He wants to do it with style and panache. and he wasn't happy with that one, so Fred Dude backing out of that. Felt it was a little clunky, and when he does it, he wants to hear the angel harp sing. Frequency then, 26 seconds, he's pulling away. Noir's through! Oh, I've missed the buggering thing. I've been keeping an eye, he was miles behind. He's already through, I'm sorry guys. I was watching, man. He was like 1.7 seconds behind, and he was only gaining a few tenths at a time. I thought I had 2 or 3 laps before that battle commenced. Buggering hell. Annoying. So, yeah, Noir has got himself up and ahead of Floris. Floris did a 32.9 last time around. He must have made a small mistake. And Noir and Terrace, you don't get to make many of them in front of him. And he's through and up and into second place. Although Floris still wants to make a race of it here. Hasn't given up on that spot. Excuse me, the Special Dutchman. Chasing after the American Fred Dude and Tim Law. This battle is become comical, and Fred Dude's frustrations, it's like he's got the putang, but he can't use the putang. Now Fred Dude again trying to get a move up the inside. Tim Law protecting, and Fred Dude getting quite, like I said, frustrating. It's like the putang's right there. He can smell it, he can't touch it. So Tim Law then 4th place, with Floris in 3rd, Noir and Terrace 2nd. This is crazy racing, and let's see how Nano Marinello's got himself ahead of the J-Man, but the J-Man's coming back at him up the inside. Who's going to claim the corner? And J-Man up alongside as they come up to the hairpin, and it's the Dodge Viper. Beautiful, Bernard says. And J-Man, can he feel that clunking behind him from the ever-jumping Nano Marinello? Some bad code down there, isn't it, for PD? They should be ashamed of themselves, really. Frequency. Smashing it. Noir and Terrace trying to build a gap from Floris, but it's just not happening. We're down to 9 minutes. Remember, this was a 2-hour race, and we've got 9 more minutes left. And 2nd and 3rd are divided by 7/10 of a second. 4th and 5th are divided by 4/10 of a second, and 7th and 8th are divided by 4/10 of a second. Is it a conspiracy? Who knows?
Guess I'll make stint 2.
Truslav saying, guess I'll make stint 2. You better have. Some cracking racing going on. And there we saw J-Man go a little wide. Frequency leads the way, and Noir and Terrace feeling the pressure. He's got the pressure. Got the remedy. And Floris then really is giving the BMW driver a lot to think about. There's that beautiful code. The great programmers at Baloney Digital. And if the cars go close together, they wobble like magnets.
Big Mama, Mr. Commentator.
Oh, Big Mama, yeah, get yourself in, man, have a bit of fun. Enjoy. Brazil's such a beautiful track. It's uphill, it's downhill, it's so delicious. Really clunky gears in that Audi up over that hill. So Floris. Ooh. Fighting with the Audi at the moment. Fred Dude still not beat by Tim Law. I'm not saying that he should easily get by, but I think that the Genesis X is a little faster than the Chevy. I wasn't looking for Chevy though, I was trying to think of the other name. Corvette. I'm tired now. It's been a long day. And Fred Dude's done it. He's got through. Sorry. We've been waiting for it all. I didn't get excited when it happened. But yeah, Fred got the move done. And now it's Tim Law's time to put on that pressure. They've both got plenty of tyre left on them wheels. And there's 6 minutes left of racing to go. And Tim Law, you can do it. This is for the championship, although it's only going to be a point, and I'm not sure how the points lay out, but it's not a big heap of points Fred Dude could have done with a couple of people between himself and Tim Law. Frequency then 26 seconds, and it's winning by the numbers for Stosilla Racing. Noir Anteras then has dropped Flores. Flores cannot stay with the BMW. And yeah, it's just the odd lap here, the odd 132 second lap that's costing Flores. He was fast. I would say he was faster on medium tyres, but he was doing mid-30s on them softs. So had the pace. Still has the pace though. It's only 2 seconds, 5 minutes to go in this race. Fred Dude can't shake off Tim Law. Tim Law right in the thick of the action. The Corvettes have looked extremely racy today. Maranello has left J-Boy behind, and yet Storm saying these guys could not get those soft tyres to last for the rest of the race. And his prophecy is coming true. We'll call him Storm Nostradamus or something. Frequency then leads 26 seconds, and Noir Anteras is nearly 2 seconds ahead of Flores, with Fred Dude dealing with the Corvette of Tim Law, and their battle is 1-4. Championship position at the moment. Splash in 6th. Lonely race for him, really, the second half of this race. Don't know what happened to Nano Maranello and J-Man. J-Man's really dropping away. Those tyres are hurting him. He's going to have to come in. We've got 4 minutes left of the race. Is it worth driving around in pain? You can try and get the fastest lap. Go in and just put a set of softs on, no fuel, just go out there and try and cane a fastest lap before the end of the race. Frequency then 26.2 seconds. Doesn't have to do anything brave, silly, or any of the above. Just bring that bad boy home. Noir Anteras, 1.5 seconds. Flores is going on the attack again at 30.8 from Flores. Noir Anteras doing a 31.1. Tight schnizzle between second and third, and Flores again pulling in more time on Noir. Tyres have gone on Noir at the front more, but the tyres on the back of the Audi have gone more. Fuel is exactly the same between these two, and Noir and Anteras there 1.1 seconds ahead of Flores, as Flores really pushes hard to try and grab that second place. Noir doing a 131.3, a 130.6. So Flores pushing on. You know what happens when you push. Mistakes happen. And Tim Law dropping back from the Gen X now. Is this tyres? No, because the Gen X's tyres are absolutely wounded on the front right of that Genesis X. Splash in a world of his own. Nano Maranello dealing with tyres, and J-Man's tyres are absolutely shot. And and he's driving a rally car now. So Frequency, 26 seconds. You goddamn racing legend, you. Unbelievable race. CWN, Clockwork Motorsport, Noir Antares. Now less than a second. Flores is really twisting the pressure valve. He's putting up to full pressure, Captain, as they come across to start their final lap. Noir might even get another lap out of this one. He might do a victory lap, sorry. Antares then 1.2, he's built it up again. It's to and fro in between these two. Harry Mop saying Fred and Tim going to get spicy. He started pulling away from Tim. Oh no, Tim's closed back up again, you're right. I went back and it looked like Tim was starting to drop from him because of the tyres. We are definitely into a last lap zone as these two cross the line. Wow, a second ahead of Flores. Fred Dude 3/10. Tim's got the toe as they come into their final lap. 30 seconds on the clock. Yeah, I think Frequency's going to do a victory lap at the end of this. Tim Law all over the curves, all over the back of the Genesis, all kinds of wide coming out of the second corner as they head down to the third corner, and Tim Law just knows this is it. This is the only chance he's going to get on this lap, and then it's over, Johnny. It's over. Frequency. Noir's on it as well. Oh my good golly gosh. Frequency has crossed the line. He's going for it more, and it's Noir who's coming up towards the line. He's managed to keep hold of that second place, but it was very tight between him and Flores, and it's Noir in second. Flores third. Take a boo, my son. Nano finishes in seventh. Fred Dude is still ahead of Tim Law. Tim Law is 8/10 now, and I think Tim has shot his bolt, and it didn't hit the mark. So Fred Dude then calmly bringing it around that final corner. Fuel could be an issue. The J-Man finishing in 8th. Great racing from Mono and Jay there. Thank you very much, guys. It's been a treat. As Fred Dude then brings it up for 4th place. And Tim Law grabs himself 5th. And Splash. Who's ahead? Splash is ahead of Frequency. Yes. And Splash... imagine he'd walk away from that saying that was a bit of a boring race. I didn't see anyone. But Splash then in the Aston Martin. There you go. He's made it interesting for himself. Spun it a little early. There you go, Splash. And Frequency, here he is. Words can't explain the talents of this racer. And here comes Frequency to put this championship to bed. There's no way Clockwork can catch him now, surely. And there he is. Beautiful stuff. Well done. You finish. Freak. Fast finish. Flipper. So there he goes. Stasila Racing didn't look like they had it today. Really did at the beginning of this race. Thought it was a no-hoper for him. But by Jove, did he bring that one to the forefront. So this is your classification before the stewards have ripped them races apart and tried to ruin it for all of us. So Frequency there is the winner in his little McLaren, and what a great drive. Noir Antares honestly could have. It looked like the win was on, and
26 max in last race.
Oh, is it not out?
Champions.
I'm just guessing. I don't know. Oh, they are champions. See? Yeah, there you go. What about fastest laps, though? You only get a point for that, don't you? Okay, then. 28-point gap. 26 max in last race. Championos. Well done, and Nibbles and Frequency. A great GTWEC Season 2 and worthy champions, if you ask me. So Noir, he got himself second with some real grit and some real racing. Floris, oh, I feel bad for Floris, man. Didn't do anything wrong, really. Maybe one lap out of everything, but only good for third with that strategy, I'm afraid. Fred Dude, absolutely, he got pulverized somehow in the first lap. He had to drive his whole stint with damage, and it looked like there was nothing in this race for him. But as soon as he got that damage fixed, he went and got himself the fastest lap of the race, and didn't look back from there. Just absolutely trounced it. Tim Law, great drive in the Corvette. Absolutely had everyone racing in. Nano Marinello was putting pressure on him. Fred Dude's put pressure on him. J-Man's been putting pressure on him. So Tim Law should feel absolutely rinsed after that race, because everyone had a pop at him. Splash, I imagine he was, what can you say? He didn't see anyone really. Just drove around, did a steady good race. And Nano Marinello and Jay, thank you for all the entertainment down there in your Corvette and Viper. It was humdinging. Right then, unless Stiggs got sick in the last 60 minutes, he should be the beautiful voice that you hear next for the second half of this race, which is a foregone conclusion, because we know who the champions are already. So it's just going to be racing for fun, and Nibbles can let it all hang out. Thank you for joining us. I don't know what news. I know that they are desperate to get back to the 24-hour or 12-hour format, and these long, drawn-out week races get on their nerves at the AquepaX racing team. So I don't know what next format, if there's going to be a GTWEC 3, or if we're going to be doing 24-hour races again. But I am sure we will see each other again. I don't know where, I don't know when, but we will. Take care of yourselves, guys. Peace and love. Peace. Oh, and yeah, thank you for all the competitors. You've been amazing. Thank you for the people who watched and commented. You are grand. And thank you for the AquepaX people, admins, for putting on a great championship. Peace and love. Peace and love.